What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
You're dead meat!
Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
Welcome to the Dead Meat Podcast. This episode was James's idea, not mine. I'm Chelsea.
Throw me under the damn bus. I'm James. That's my wife. Threw me under the damn bus, and we like to get scared together.
Yeah, okay. We decided to keep it internet themed.
Mid-2000s.
Mid-2000s internet themed, because we did the
Fear.com.com.
classic Fear.com.com last week. So this week we're doing Hellraiser, Hellworld. I saw a few people say, I haven't watched all the Hellraisers up to that one, so I don't know. But you don't need to. It's okay.
No, I have not. I've, of course, covered the first 4 Hellraisers on the Kill Count, which we watched together.
The first 4.
As a kid, I watched the 5th one at least, Inferno. That's a, is that Derrickson? I think that's Scott Derrickson who did
Oh,
that.
yeah?
Yeah. But it was the first one where it was like non-related script turned into Hellraiser.
Right.
I don't know if I've ever seen the 6th or 7th films.
I definitely haven't.
I don't think I could name what they are. I think one of them's called Deader. And then this one I had never seen before, Hellraiser Hellworld from 2005. It is the 8th Hellraiser. It is.
Boy, can you tell.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When I covered the first 4 Hellraisers, I said, I'm only covering the first 4. I can't do the whole series. There's too many of them. And I've said that for a bunch of series. With Puppet Master, I just did the first one. I said I can't do all of them. And there will be comments on those videos being like, but you did all the Friday the 13th and all the Nightmares and Halloweens. There are more of those movies than these, or just as many. It's not the same.
Yeah, those are movies.
Those are real movies. They all, and not just because they went to theaters, which is true for all of them besides Chucky.
Yeah.
But they're real movies.
And no disrespect to anyone who worked on this.
Yeah, it's
because 2 things. One, the people who all worked on this, like the director Rick Boda did a bunch of Tales from the Crypt. He has a career outside of this. This is not like the one thing he did that I'm taking a giant steamy dump on. Same with Henry Cavill. He's fine.
Henry Cavill's in this movie.
Henry Cavill's fine.
By the way, that's what I gasped right before we started recording. This was filmed in 2002 and came out in 2005. That means we're watching a 19-year-old Henry Cavill in this movie.
Wow. That's crazy.
He's a teenager.
Wow.
In this film.
Yikes.
But yes.
What took so long for them to get this out?
It was...
Oh, yes, that's right. It was filmed at the same time as
part
another...
7.
As part of a deal with Romania.
Yes, a contractual stipulation for filming in Romania. Both films were made between October and December 2002 to save costs.
That's quick.
Pretty sure they were both scripts that were unrelated that were turned into Hellraiser
this
to keep the rights.
Certainly had to be, because
7 is Hellraiser Deader, but that came out in 2005 also by the same director.
Bizarre. It was just the post-process. But then why release... Whatever.
They were both in... Yeah. What the fucking shit?
We should ask him. We'll find a way.
Who?
Rick Boda? Yeah. I bet we could find a way.
Yeah.
We'll track him down, ask him.
In any case, these are straight to DVD movies.
Yes. And my second point, because I did one and then we got on a tangent. My second point is horror movies like this have to exist for a healthy horror ecosystem,
Yes.
I think.
Agreed.
I think it sucks if all horror movies are good.
Yeah. I like watching... here's the thing. I was less bored watching this than Fear.com.
You know what? I was too.
I was into it the whole way. I was writing stuff down. I was like, I knew what was happening for the most part.
Until some stuff happens at the end.
Yeah. But also, Fear.com.com needs to exist too. We need them all.
We need Fear.com.com. We need Hellraiser 8. We need sequels to things where if you tell people that, there are more than 2 Hellraiser movies, they go, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That has to be. It's
and
like
personally, this is exactly what I want to make kill counts about.
Yeah.
But I can't because not enough people watch it and we have to pay our employees. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, but we can do podcasts about it.
That's right.
Because the podcast audience is the best. And I feel like whenever we cover stupid shit that would not do well on a kill count, that's what you all like who listen to the podcast. So that's
thank
nice.
you.
That's nice for us.
Yeah, thank you for giving us this excuse to watch Hellraiser Hellworld,
Which is like a script that was definitely not a Hellraiser script. And you can tell because it literally is Pinhead showing up every 15, 20 minutes to be like, by the way, it's a Hellraiser.
by the way, you're in hell, and then he kills you in a completely uncharacteristic manner.
Yeah.
There is a lot of Hellraiser in the movie, though.
Yeah.
Because it is a kind... It's a kind of meta movie. Hellraiser exists within this movie.
Yes, one of the characters that Derek has a Pinhead shirt on.
Yes, they talk
So
about
we're getting a little meta.
Pinhead and the Cenobites and Hellraiser, because Hellworld is a Hellraiser game. It is an online game that is not in the movie enough. That was our major disappointment.
We needed more internet shenanigans. I actually was really disappointed. We barely see Hellworld. And
it just looks like a shitty puzzle game online.
They show the website at the very beginning, and then it's not.
But the rest of it is them at a party in a mansion. It's like a sex party, kind of.
Yeah, that's
it's just like a...
by playing Hellworld and solving enough puzzles, they all got invited to this party.
Lance Henriksen is the host of the party, the mysterious host.
Yeah.
That guy who's in The Walking Dead as King Ezekiel.
Yep.
He's in here.
Yep.
He's one of the kids.
He's the one with the Pinhead shirt.
Carrie Payton, is that his name? Kari Payton, I'm not sure. And then the lead, or at least the lead woman is Catherine Winnick.
Yes, who was
Vikings.
in Vikings, Lagertha. It's funny that both her and Henry Cavill ended up playing like really beefy kind of Nordic characters. Although I guess The Witcher's not Nordic. That's like Eastern European.
Eastern European.
And then the other lead is Christopher Jacot. He was in Jacot. I'm not sure. He was in 4 seasons of Slasher. I've never seen Slasher.
I haven't either.
But people have talked about it. Mm-hmm. Oh, and you said you recognize him from Degrassi.
That's right. He was on Degrassi, The Next Generation, and he was I actually don't know if it's Degrassi or Degrassi. I'm from Michigan and pronounce it Degrassi, but it might be Degrassi. I'm not sure. But he was like a teacher that had an affair with one of the students and then got fired, and it was a very special episode of Degrassi. It's one of those. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whew. So yes, this game is about a group of friends who are obsessed with playing Hellworld.
There's movies about a bunch of...
No, this movie.
You said this game is about...
This game is about a movie about a game. What if they made Hellworld the game? Would you play it?
Yes. Yes. That's what we need to make.
Oh.
We've been talking about how fun it would be to make a video game.
We gotta do something not based on pre-existing IP. That's what we gotta do.
But I mean, I feel like they're just giving anyone the Hellraiser IP.
I don't know. They did a good job with that last one. They finally brought it back.
That's true. We brought it back. We reined it in.
Yeah.
We brought it back.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
They pulled out the tailspin. Let's not have us ruin it with some garbage.
But let me make Hellworld.
This movie is about a group of friends who are obsessed with playing Hellworld. It's like fucking EverQuest was back in the day.
Yes, and it's about Hellraiser. It's a Hellraiser themed, which what I'm not clear on is it like...
I'm not clear on a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I don't understand. Is it based on... Or is Hellraiser movies in this movie?
We don't know. They never mentioned the movies.
This kind of mythos.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like SCP.
Like, who are the character? Who is Pinhead in this universe?
Yeah, is it just like Slender Man kind of
thing?
thing?
Is this like early 2000s Slender Man?
Yeah.
Like to these kids?
Because they never mention any of the movies.
This is kind of Slender Man. They all play a game. They get invited to the Slender Mansion. Do you remember? That's part of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where the similarities end, actually.
That's it.
I don't know if there's a lot of sucking and fucking at the Slender Mansion.
Oh, I hope not.
Like there is at
There's a lot of sucking and fucking here.
There's a lot of titties in this.
Yeah, because they get to the mansion and they see a topless chick walk by, and Henry Cavill's like, necessary tit shot.
He basically turns to the audience and goes, necessary tit shot.
And so I assumed, oh, that's their one and done. Then no, there's lots.
There's lots.
So, which, Hellraiser, that's its whole thing, is being like this erotic. And it's done in a much trashier way here.
This is not erotic.
This is not erotic.
This is cheap.
I don't know. They spend a lot of time with that naked nun in the attic. with dissolves and stuff. We literally came home from Poor Things to watch this.
Yeah. We saw Poor Things, and I felt more embarrassed during the sex scenes in Hellraiser Hellworld than I did in Poor Things. So I don't know.
God, to come from Poor Things, this masterpiece.
It's a very good movie.
Of an original creative film, and then to watch the 8th Hellraiser.
A double feature that, I don't know, maybe one of you will end up doing that double feature. It's not
That's possible.
unthinkable.
Once they hear that we're covering
that's
this.
in theaters right now. You know, Poor Things, go see it in theaters. And we got to watch a movie for Dead Meat Pod.
Yeah. Okay, can we get to the spoilery stuff?
Yep.
Because we're going to have to talk about the ending twist.
Yes.
In retrospect with how it doesn't make
very
sense.
confusing twist. Yeah. We're at a very 2000s funeral, and I say that just because maybe someone's got like a puka shell necklace on. Oh, this is getting past puka shell and more into like, I don't know.
It was filmed in 2002.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their friend died. He definitely looks- Adam.
Yeah, before we have clips of him like with his shirt off mining something. And so for a little bit, I was like, what if like Adam got sucked into the game and then when they're trying to mine resources, he like actually has to mine them and in real time.
But it's so funny to me, the idea of a Hellraiser based game where the
There's
mechanics
resource
of it is you
gathering.
have to mine resources. Like, what the fuck is that?
Pinhead's just like, build more farms.
Yeah, it's like Civ 6 or something where like all the tiles have different amounts of maybe some's got luxury resources.
You must construct additional pylons.
Exactly. It's a group of teenage friends. One of the girls is extremely British, which is interesting because we all know Henry Cavill's British, but he
Not in this
was
movie.
apparently not allowed to be British in this movie.
They said one Brit allowed, and it's her. It's Allison.
Yeah, she's charming. You're American now, Henry.
And he tries.
He's trying so hard. It veers into a weird Boston accent.
Come on, guys. It's just a game. A crazy fucking internet game.
Yeah, he starts sounding like a Wahlberg sometimes.
It does sound a little Wahlbergian, and I'm into it. I think it's very funny. It works for that character. I mean, it doesn't work. It's not a good accent.
He's like the bro, the sex obsessed
bro.
bro.
He's kind of a doofus.
Although the other guy is also pretty bro and sex. I mean, it's a mid 2000s horror movie. They're the characters.
Everyone is sex obsessed except for the two leads that you're meant to empathize with.
Yeah. The leads being Jake, who is a Degrassi guy, and Chelsea.
Yes.
Chelsea.
Here's what's exciting about this movie is the main character is named Chelsea, and there are so many funny lines with my name in them that I plan to, once we program like a good soundboard for Twitch streaming, I'm going to be using those as sound effects.
Welcome to Hellworld,
Welcome
Chelsea.
to Hellworld, Chelsea. I was like, write that down. Time code that shit. Chelsea walks up to the coffin at the front and pops that shit open.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
a
if you're
closed
allowed
casket
to the
funeral, and
closed
she
casket,
opens
but
it.
she's like, I gotta look inside.
And it looks like Freddy Krueger in there.
Yeah, he's a full-on ghoul.
Did he burn to death? Do we know? Wikipedia that I just read a couple of minutes ago said he killed himself because he was too obsessed with the game.
I'll
I
be
don't
so
remember that in the
honest.
movie.
I kind of have no idea what happened in this.
All I know is that they blame his obsession with the game.
Yeah.
And they're like, we should have stopped him.
I think what it was is he got so deep into Hellworld, the game, that he ended up doing some kind of, puzzle box and summoned the Cenobites, and he died.
That's not what they think. They don't think that.
Well, I think that.
Okay, but they have to have an idea going into the funeral of how their friend died.
Yeah, I think they think he was like, man, Hellworld is so much cooler than real life.
Oh, I thought maybe it was a thing where like he lost his save file, or like can you are there scammers who will take your online account in like World of Warcraft or something? Can you lose your account and all your shit? I don't know. I never have gotten into an MMORPG. I had so many friends growing up.
I got into Elder Scrolls Online.
Is that an MMO where everyone's like on the same?
Yeah.
Because like the idea of it is so cool, and I remember before they existed, wanting that kind of game to exist. But then
the reality of it kind of sucks.
And I forget what was the other one because my friends called it
World of
Evercrack.
Warcraft?
Yeah, before that even though. There was another one that my friends were all obsessed and like they got into it and I was like, oh, you guys are weird now. And like they just got so into it that it just steered me clear. Obviously, World of Warcraft was the biggest.
That's gotta be.
Of all time. Like that was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I think of that kind of game, it's World of Warcraft.
And this is kind of talked about as though it is one, but it just looks like a Flash game.
Like a puzzle game.
Like at one point after she sees Freddy Krueger in there and he comes alive and scares her, then it's 2 years later. So he died, I guess they were 16, they mentioned when he died.
School,
so now they're 18, which I guess isn't far off from Cavill's real age.
And this whole segment was in the beginning. Yeah, what did you say? It was just a dream. Like she wakes up.
I think it was a memory that had a dream ending. Yeah. The funeral was real.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But him being a ghoul and jump scaring her in the coffin, I don't think actually happened in real life.
So now they're, I guess, 18, maybe in college.
I think she's in a dorm room. Chelsea is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Chelsea's there. She's the one we're following. Henry Cavill shows up, and he's all like, yo.
Dude, he's decked out in Hellraiser merch. He's got a Chatterer mask on.
Oh, yeah. She gets a knock on her door. She opens the door, and it's Chatterer. But it's Henry Cavill, and he takes off a rubber mask. So, literally, the Cenobites are characters in Hellworld. But the thing is, I think when Chatterer actually shows up later, it's the same fucking mask. Like, it looks bad.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
It might not be, but it looks shitty. And in the end credits, he's not even credited as Chatterer.
That's right. He's like
Melty Cenobite.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that they said...
some other random Cenobite.
It said it was like Bandage Cenobite or something. I've never seen this fucker in my life. He's got Banded Cenobite. Online called him Bound as his name.
Bro thinks he's part of the team. Like, that's how I feel about this Cenobite. Like, who the fuck is this?
Because it's just them two and Pinhead. Yeah. It is Doug Bradley as Pinhead in his final outing as Pinhead.
He tapped out
after this one. He was like, oh, I have standards.
Yep.
But then he would go and do Wrong Turn 5, so I don't know what those standards were.
Yeah.
That one sucks.
Henry Cavill and Chelsea are talking about Hellworld.
There's a party.
By figuring out puzzles, they get invited to this party. One of them calls the Lament configuration the Lamont config, which I am a big fan of.
Mike, Cenobites don't exist. And even if they did, I never opened the Lamont configuration.
It's the Lament configuration's cousin from Canada or something.
Yeah, it's Lament configuration's black friend.
Lamont.
They just say it once.
Yeah. Lamont configuration could be one of the names in East West Bowl.
Lamont configuration.
Henry Cavill, and this never comes into play, and I think it's such a funny little detail. Henry Cavill mentions, the website shuts down at midnight.
Yeah, because they gotta solve that puzzle.
It's like TV used to go off of the air.
Yeah, just
like
the national anthem.
The national anthem plays on Hellworld and then it shuts off.
So she calls up the other two from the funeral, Derek and Allison, who is King Ezekiel and British Girl. And she's like, can you guys believe he's trying to get me to go to this Hellworld party? And they're like on the website. They're like, we're going to this fucking Hellworld party.
Oh, yeah.
Allison wins a ticket, but like it says no guests. So he's like, move over. I got to do it. And then he starts clickety-clacking on their PS2 connection, mechanical keyboard and ball mouse. And he's like getting real in there. And I guess he gets a ticket.
What's so funny to me is because we learn that they are all being lured there by Lance Henriksen. Like, he wants them to come to this party. They are the stars.
Yes.
So what's funny is they had to solve puzzles to get these invites, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you think he made the puzzles really easy?
Yeah.
For them, and they think they're geniuses.
With these idiots, yeah, he for sure made them as easy as possible.
Yeah.
She says she doesn't want to go to this party because she thinks it'll be a space voyage convention crap. Is that like a Star Trek convention type thing? Space voyage convention crap. This is back. See, this is what I'm telling you, youngins. They wouldn't reference real IP before in movies. They would always have this shitty little stand-in, and you would just have to assume, oh, they mean like a Star Trek con. Now you would just say a Star Trek convention.
And also just the idea of that's their reference point for like a lame nerd thing is, oh, it's like a Star Trek. Like cons weren't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is starting to get into when conventions were like Comic-Con.
They were happening for sure, but they were still fucking
No, they were for nerds.
Yeah,
but
weirdo nerds.
Yeah.
I think it was the 2010s when it really cracked open.
Yeah.
After Iron Man and MCU's ascent and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
We get a driving montage, which is fun. It's
Dude, it takes so long.
Way too long.
There's so many shots of this car driving, and then also it keeps cutting back and forth between the driving and them inside the car just like smiling at each other. It's pretty great.
They all drive together to what basically looks like the college from Urban Legend.
Yeah, it looks just like
This
that
big
building.
kind of castle building. And yeah, there's a giant party inside. There's titties. There's a giant spinning Lamont configuration.
Yeah. It looks like the cube at U of M. It's like
It does,
on the corner
yeah.
and
It's
it
just a
spins.
slowly rotating cube.
I mean, it looks like it's cardboard though. Like it looks cheap, but I still want it kind of.
Yeah, 'cause I was wondering who has it.
They broke that thing down.
That thing
and
went right in
burned
the
it
trash.
for fuel after not getting work because of this movie.
Jake shows up, who is their kind of estranged friend. it
Yeah,
seems.
he was the one who really blamed them and said like we should have done more to save Adam. Dude.
Yeah.
So they're in this foyer and they're looking at them, and then Lance Henriksen comes out and he's like, "Hey, invitations." I'm like, "Dude, you should have done that at the front door. What if one of them like came in and went to the bathroom? Then they could have just not."
Also,
given an
if one of
invitation
them
out.
didn't have invitation, he's still gonna let them in.
Well, in this case, yes.
Yeah.
Because at the end you find out Lance Henriksen.
He's clearly the bad guy.
Yes, he is.
It's not a spoiler when it's set up so clearly.
That's not the twist.
No,
the twist
that's
is
not the. Don't
Lance
worry.
Henriksen's
The twist
bad
is
guy.
not that he's the villain. You kind of know pretty early on. There's a dumber.
He's the host
twist.
of a sex party, and he's Lance Henriksen. He's the bad guy.
Yeah, and he's inviting barely legal co-eds.
Oh no, he's fucking Joe Francis. Was that his name?
The Girls Gone Wild guy?
Yeah, was that his name?
Yeah.
Did he go to jail? I know he was
think
in
he
some
did,
shit.
Yeah.
Because of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think did he do jail time?
I think so.
I don't know. It feels like he should have.
Yeah. If he didn't, he should have. But
It'd be funny if like he did do jail time, but it's not for the reason we think. It's because he didn't get the rights to that calypso music in the commercials. He forgot to pay the
Dude, yo, no. I searched Joe Francis on Wikipedia and it says American criminal and founder of Girls Gone Wild.
Wow, so criminals first.
Criminals first, dude.
That's good.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
good.
Okay, I
That's
see.
amazing. Francis has at various times been convicted of tax evasion, bribery, false imprisonment, assault causing great bodily injury, dissuading a witness, and record-keeping violations, and has pleaded no contest to child abuse and prostitution. Jesus Christ. Good Lord. That man influenced American culture in the early 2000s, late 90s. It was a thing.
Yep.
We were influenced by this man.
So Lance Henriksen invites them into like his study pretty much, where there's all kinds of Hellraiser stuff in there. He's got a whole collection of Hellraiser props and artifacts. We noticed
Cubes.
there's a reference to Bloodline. I mean, they keep bringing it up, but Le Marchand.
Apparently, that's from the original novel. So it's
No
not a reference to
kidding.
Bloodline. Le Marchand is in the original.
I haven't read
Clive
the
Barker
novel. Is
Yeah.
Le Marchand mentioned in the movie? I don't remember
He is not mentioned until Bloodline. He's
Okay,
not mentioned in the
that's
first three.
what
Yeah.
I thought.
So we thought, oh wow, is the 8th Hellraiser actually continuing this series' continuity?
Yeah, is it
referencing
doing
something
kind
from
of like
part 4?
Is this like Scream 6 where there's all the
Yeah,
props?
because they started talking about a nun. I was like, ooh, maybe she was in Hellraiser 6 or 7, and we don't know. No. Philip Le Marchand was in The Hellbound Heart as the guy who made the Le Marchand configuration, they called it.
Okay.
I don't know when it became the, now I want to call it the Lamont
I know,
configuration.
Lamont. Something happens here that I think is what sealed the deal for me in terms of, I'm into this movie. It's when the British girl sees a bottle of perfume, picks it up, points it directly at her face, and sprays it into her eyes.
And I was like, ah!
And it's like, ow, it's like, because I know she's trying to smell it. But
She
the way
sprays
she
it
just
into her
fires it
face.
right into her eyes.
Lance Henriksen has the boys drink some of his
He gives them whiskey.
whiskey.
Yeah. Giving them whiskey.
And one of them finds a tarot card.
Henry Cavill finds a stack of tarot cards and some ink from it rubs off on his
It's like
hand.
a pinhead tarot card. It's cool.
And it is cool. And I forget how Chelsea gets.
She doesn't. I don't think so.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because he's like, we'll get into this. There's some stuff happening here that you don't realize is happening because it's part of the twist later. Lance starts telling him about how this place used to be a nunnery, like a bunch of nuns lived here, and all of them mysteriously disappeared at one point, except for a nun named Ursula. And then the building was turned into an asylum. And then that's when Henry Cavill sings.
And then he says it at Jake, and Jake's just dead, blank face.
No sells it.
Yeah, he no sells it. Nice. and so Henry Cavill's like, ha, and he runs off, and the scene ends with him being like, yo, Derek, you gotta hear this. It's so funny to imagine him running and be like, dude, we saw this picture of this nun, and I was like, get this.
And I was like, holy pussy.
And Derek would have loved it too, man.
Lance leads the group into this other room.
There's jars.
And there's jars of creepy body parts and like
green
babies,
liquid.
And
It looks like
gross.
Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers. There's some of those tubes. Alien Resurrection, I think, has a bunch of like those tubes. It's one of those things.
Yeah, it's gross.
There are babies in them.
Yeah, and Lance says that apparently, and this I actually find a creepy concept, and I wish this was expanded upon further. Apparently, at some point during this building's history, a team of surgeons all anesthetized.
Anesthetized?
Is that where? Yeah.
Anesthetized?
They numbed each other. Is that what the word you would use?
Sure.
Anesthetized, and they all dismembered each other for fun.
Oh, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a fun little story he tells. And I was like, I kind of want to hear more about that because that's actually really fucking weird.
Yeah, this is when they do this.
And maybe that's a reference to a Hellraiser sequel.
It's not.
I don't know.
Let's not get our. It can't be that. It can't be that.
I'm a fake Hellraiser fan. I'm sorry. I haven't seen all of them.
In this scene and occasionally otherwise, they'll do that speed ramp effect where you're walking and then it's like, and then it's like, yeah. And,
lots of speed ramp
And
stuff.
this came out the year after Saw. And
But
it
was filmed,
But this is editing. Both of us working through it.
post-production.
That's some editing decisions they can be. We're like, hey, Saw just came out. It seems like that's going to be the new trend. So let's, add in, make it a little greener, maybe. And let's do the speed ramping effect. I was like, we didn't shoot for that. We shot it in 24. It's like, it's fine. Just do it. It's post. It's fine.
One of the kids says they have goosebumps because this room is creepy. And then the British girl says, forget goosebumps. My you-know-whats are getting hard. Pan to her hard nipples.
And
her hard you-know-whats.
Apparently she doesn't swear because earlier she was like, holy sugar.
Holy sugar.
And then later when she's like, dead, spoiler, comes back, she's like, this is motherfucking Hellworld.
And that's how you know she's a demon.
Died, yeah. But
it's one of my weird pet peeves is grown-ups who won't swear. And I'm not talking about not using swear words and talking around it, but using substitutions for swear words when you're an adult. I hate it. It's fine if it's harmless, right? It's just something that I'm like, I don't.
It's because we're so vulgar.
Like, just say, yeah.
Or just, don't say anything.
Right. You don't construct your sentence in a way where you're trying to substitute something for a swear word.
Because who's that for? A baby?
It's like how, and I know there's a reason that they do that on The Good Place.
Yeah.
But it also, I hate listening to it.
Oh, no. It works. It's good in The Good Place.
Yeah.
It has to be that in there.
Hey, want to talk to you about our sponsor this week, Fume. Ever tried to break a bad habit and felt like you're trying to solve an early 2000s flash game puzzle? Our sponsor, Fume, looks at bad habits in a different way. It's not about giving up, it's about switching up. Fume takes your habit and simply makes it better, healthier, and a whole lot more enjoyable. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses delicious flavors. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, which is helpful for de-stressing while you're trying to break your habit. Listen to how nice this sounds. Very clicky, very nice, very satisfying. I wasn't sure what to expect when I first got one of these, but Fume's flavor cores feel super light and refreshing. Right now I've got the crisp mint flavor in my Fume. Not only does it taste good, there's a nice cooling effect that comes from the mintiness. And Fume also just released a magnetic stand for your Fume. No more losing it around the house because your cat likes to roll it off your desk. Right now is the best time to start the good habit with Fume. Go to tryfume.com/deadmeat and get the journey pack today. Fume is giving listeners of the show 10% off when they use my code DEADMEAT to help make starting the good habit that much easier. That's tryfume, tryfum.com/deadmeat.
There's a baby in a jar and it looks at Jake.
Yeah.
Or no, not Jake. It looks at Derek.
I went into the laboratory and I looked at the jars and there was a baby in the jar and then the baby looked at me.
The baby looked at you.
We almost had to pause the movie. We were laughing so hard. That's when Pinhead, I think, noticed us laughing at his movie and shows up and he, I think Lance, doesn't he briefly turn into Pinhead?
Yeah, Lance turns into Pinhead and stabs Chelsea with a pin, like from his head.
Yeah.
Into her arm.
And Chelsea's obviously
and she
like, what the
back,
fuck?
And then she's like screaming, but then it's Lance again, and her friends run over and they're like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I guess. And Lance is like, what? Are you okay?
So what it seems like is that she maybe imagined something and screamed.
But we don't get a shot of her arm to show it fine. And in fact, later on, you find out she was in fact stabbed by that pin. So why isn't she like, look at this fucking hole in my arm?
Yeah, Lance just drove a nail into her arm.
And it actually happened.
Yeah.
Although I guess at this point, maybe, depending on how fast it takes effects.
You're right.
The friends don't know. So here, let's get into the...
No, because this is him doing that to her.
To her. I guess Jake is... But the others have already sprayed themselves in the face or drank the scotch. Jake hasn't been affected.
Jake
yet.
hasn't.
So he should see
Should we
this hole
just
in her
spoil
arm.
this so we can stop
Sure.
dancing around it?
Sure.
Here's the ridiculous twist in this movie that going back makes this all very confusing.
Apparently after this scene, everything that we've talked about happened, okay?
Yes.
They show up to the party, they see Lance Henriksen, he takes them around. Apparently, right after this scene, he drugged them through the whiskey,
the tarot
perfume,
card ink.
Yep, and just fucking straight up stabbing her because she wouldn't do any of the other stupid shit. And later he gives a cube to Jake,
yes.
and it stabs him through the thumb with a CG nail, and that's how it gets him. But from that point on, all the experiences that these characters have are not real.
It's a collective group hallucination, and in real life, they are all in coffins.
He is burying
individual
them.
coffins.
Yes.
I guess there's no such thing as not an individual coffin.
No, you can have a group coffin.
A big old, like, an extra wide, double wide coffin.
Yeah, it's like a California King coffin.
Yeah.
Just stick them all in
But they're
there.
all in coffins with tubes in them so they can breathe. And they're buried alive and they're all just hallucinating together. And they all have Nokia cell phones so that they can talk to each other and talk to Lance and he can call them and like torment them and stuff psychologically.
So everything that we're about to talk about didn't
Does not
actually happen.
Which is very funny when you think about some things that are gonna happen soon.
Yeah, I don't know at what point after drugging them he digs a lot of holes. He digs 5 holes and puts them all in there. Oh, yeah, I guess that's the other twist is he does it because he's Adam's father.
Right.
And blames them for his son's death, even though he was an absent father. At the funeral, they're like,
wow, his dad's not even here.
yeah, because he like left them long ago or something like
Right.
that. So I was going to say if only he had his son to dig all these holes, trapped him in a little game and made him mine the holes. Mm-hmm. But no, Lance Henriksen digs a lot in this movie.
Yes.
They did a lot.
Okay, so they leave this creepy haunted laboratory, and this is when Lance shows them, okay, if you want to participate in the sexy festivities at this party, you can grab one of these masks, and each mask, which looks like a fucking Jabberwocky's mask, it's just like a plain, it's like the mask you had on for Puppet Master.
Yeah, there's a stack of them downstairs. We should have brought them.
We should have, yeah. And they each have a 4-digit extension on them, and it comes with a little Nokia phone, so you can call them. And you can call the phone if you see someone you think is sexy. You can call them and be like, hey.
Pick a tasty morsel, he says.
Which
and
is
you dial the
disgusting,
number.
and I hate that phrase a lot.
Even though, here's my thing, is the masks and phones are not tied or paired in any way. There's a wall of masks and a thing of phones. So how do you know that you're getting the right phone for the mask?
Hey, but you know a good thing? This is all fucking fake.
I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I guess it doesn't matter. You know what? They're actually the smart ones, because any fucking plot hole we pick out in this, it's fake. Doesn't matter. They just
didn't
hallucinate
actually
it.
happen.
So I guess, yeah.
Exactly.
Props to them for writing their way around that.
So they all look like Jabberwockies. This is when Jake mentions that he's here not for them, but he met a girl online talking about Hellworld and stuff, and he's here to meet her in person.
And that doesn't get resolved. That is dropped until the very end when Lance is like, I was catfishing you.
Yeah, just...
He wasn't. He doesn't say that.
It is literally just a single line to get that character here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And later Lance is like, you were hard. You wouldn't play Hellworld, so I had to fucking rizz you up online and get you over there.
Yeah. There is some very good dancing done by the extras in this movie. Mm-hmm. I love watching extras in party scenes in movies because the dancing is usually very awkward, because when you're filming a party scene, as I would know being an extra in Harold and Kumar 3D, where I was an extra at a party and I had to awkwardly dance. There's no music. You have to be totally silent so that they can record the dialogue, unless you're doing a big wide shot without sound. Then you can play some music, get everyone dancing.
Moving on the same beat at least.
Yes. You can tell that this, because there's dialogue happening, is dead silent in that room. And I swear, there is an extra in the background doing that. If you're just listening to this, like put your arm up, your hand flat, and like when you kind of
elbow
like
90 degree,
and then like do like a little pump, like you're bouncing a basketball.
Yeah.
Like that.
In a very robotic way.
It's very cool.
Also, there's another thing that never comes up again. Jake, who is the outsider and mad at the others, is like, you guys always just like, you guys don't earn anything. You just take it. What the fuck's he talking about, and why is that line there?
I bet when they all play together on the Hellworld server, he does all this stuff, and they're like, yo, can we just like log on and keep our accounts logged, and we'll jiggle the mouse every 15 minutes so that we get the XP?
Yeah.
That's what he's referring to.
Yeah, can you mine the resources, then we'll just get in there and when you sell stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Yeah, I think that's probably what he means.
This is right around, I think, when I realized, we're not doing any more website stuff.
No, they're just
we're just at this whole thing's at this party.
Yeah, because Allison goes into a room that says "keep out."
Yeah, and she does the DW thing where she's like, that doesn't mean anything. I can't read. She walks right in and sits right down in a saw trap.
Yep.
She locks herself
into a
wooden
wooden chair, clamps wrap around her wrist and ankles. Lance Henriksen walks in and is like,
wow, that was easy.
You fucked up. That's called the sacrificer. And it's like little saws that go into her
neck. It looks like an early Jigsaw trap. Yeah. Like the one, which movie is it where it's his first trap and he fucks
just
it up?
Falls apart and he has to throw that guy into barbed wire. He has to just do an audible and be like,
Yeah.
And this trap is called the escape, the razor wire trap.
Yeah.
This is livestock, you just fucking die.
Meanwhile, while she's getting her neck all sliced up by spinning blades, Jake wanders into some kind of study and he sees a computer. And we're like, yes, get on the fucking internet. Let's go. I want to surf the web. But he doesn't. He opens it up and he sees, oh, wait, there's a picture of him and Adam on the computer. Pinhead pops up again, gives him a little jump scare. Yeah. But it's actually just Lance. And Lance says, yeah, Adam was a very talented Hellworld player. In fact, he made this here lament configuration, and he gives it to Jake, and that's when he gets bopped with the little CGI pins.
Yeah, a little nail comes up through his thumb, and that's what poisons him, because now he's walking around and he's seeing people fucking on a couch, and he's like, yo, anyone seeing this?
That's
this
my
is
favorite.
wild.
That's one of my favorite lines. There's honestly a lot of very funny lines.
Like, this guy's never getting invited back to a sex party.
No,
you don't just do that.
You don't
just like,
point
dude,
at
check it
people
out.
fucking on a couch and be like, "Yo, whoa, does anyone see this? Oh my god!"
But no one responds to him, and he's like, what the fuck? Is everyone ignoring me? And he like, he kind of like half-assedly shakes someone by. I'm like, no, spin them around.
Yeah.
How are they experiencing something that they can't feel? Turns out they're not real.
This
in
is,
the end.
I'll say it, this is the one little spooky scare in this, and I'm like, you know, okay, I'm into it. He's about to leave this room, and then he turns around because it goes quiet. He turns around, and every person who was in that room is now hanging from the ceiling, and they're all kind of just dead, staring at him. I think it's cool.
It's fine, yeah, that's fine.
But hey, while Jake is having a existential freak out, Henry Cavill is enjoying himself at this party, and he sees a chick that he's into and
calls her number. He says, I'd love to see your puzzle box.
Love to see your puzzle box. And she says, hell yeah. And he gets what multiple people on Twitter described to me as a spooky blowjob. And I was wondering what's going to make it spooky.
Well, I'll tell you, he's sitting in a chair and she's giving him a blowy, but her mask is pulled up to the top of her head. So as she's going up and down, this face is just like staring at him going up and down.
Because when she pulls it back, it's not great. It's not well thought out.
It's like a Miyazaki character giving you a blowjob. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And then she must not be very good because he calls Chelsea.
We keep cutting to entire other scenes and then cutting back. He's still getting a blowjob and he's having whole conversations on the phone with people.
Yeah, like he's talking to Chelsea, who gets herself locked in an attic for like 20 minutes or some shit.
Yeah.
They really throw these characters into different rooms for a while. And so he just has this normal ass he's not even like yeah, I can't really
He's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, he's like, hey, oh yeah, I mean that sucks that you're leaving. Oh, well, you shouldn't have tried leaving.
Yeah.
And then he like looks down and the mask like CG morphs into like a little fang face.
Yeah,
like,
it's got scary teeth.
Yeah, too much teeth.
He also kind of spikes the camera at this part.
Oh yeah, when it like pushes in the first shot of him getting this blowy, it's from behind his shoulder, and he's like looking.
He looks
back
over like, "Hey, come here, check this shit out."
He's like that demon in the Doom poster. It's like Doom guys fight off all the demons. There's one in the lower right corner who's just looking at the
You get a load of this shit.
Yeah, get a load
Can
of this.
you believe this? It's really good. I love this whole scene. He also at one point kind of settles deeper into the chair.
Oh, his little face
his little
he gaves.
happy face.
He's given some great face acting. 19-year-old Henry Cavill.
It's very, very funny.
Henry Cavill, sir,
go on Dev Meat Pod.
will you meet with us and discuss just this movie?
Yes.
We don't want to talk about Superman or The Witcher or
The
computers
Tudors
or
Warhammer. Maybe Warhammer.
We'll do a little bit of Warhammer.
We can talk a little bit about Warhammer.
Mostly Hellraiser Hellworld. Will you do that, sir?
Please go on Dev Meat Pod.
We will make sure that I got nothing.
You give us appearance on podcast. We give you question mark. We'll figure it out.
Derek,
You get exposure from being on the Dev Meat podcast.
pay you an exposure. Do you know that we have a pretty good subscriber base
Yeah.
for a very niche YouTube channel? It's not bad, and those people could hear your name and see your face.
That's right.
If you want to talk about Hellworld. Derek, King Ezekiel, he spots a hottie too.
Yeah,
and she's dancing, and he goes up and behind her and starts dancing, and then coughs all over her.
He goes. I forgot that he has asthma because we do see him with an inhaler earlier, but I totally forgot about that. And he's dancing with this girl, and he puts his head over her shoulder and coughs. Like it looks like that picture of that cat coughing.
Also, this guy was 30 when this movie was filmed.
Wow.
What like and you know what? I never once looked at him and Henry and was like, those guys are 11 years apart.
Yeah, no.
No. So
Wild.
yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, his inhaler falls down a grate and then goes down like 9 floors or something. He has to like go down
like
all these
Plinko.
stairs. And then he gets to the bottom and he sees it behind a grate on the wall. And dude, he puts his fingers through the grate to like try to like pry it off. This thing is coming out of the wall. And you
Yeah,
see
and you
him have
see
to
it.
hold it against the wall.
Yeah.
Art
Because it's
department.
probably not a real wall. It's probably a set.
Maybe they didn't have time for the glue to set or
it's
something.
just so funny because it's clearly about to fall off of the wall, but the script demands that he do something else about this.
So he goes around to the other side where the grate is more securely put in and he has to unscrew it with a scalpel and he finally gets his inhaler back. But then he turns around and Pinhead's there and scares him onto a gurney.
Yeah. He falls
then-
into it, yeah.
And then Pinhead, if you thought Pinhead seemed out of character in Hellraiser 3 Hell on Earth,
Yeah.
this Pinhead, who again isn't actually him, none of this is happening, so that explains it. You got me. But it's still dumb to see Pinhead take a meat cleaver and raise it up above his head and bring it down and decapitate this character whose head falls into a bowl that is already filled with blood,
Yes,
which
there's
then
a blood
splashes
bowl
everywhere.
just sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bizarre because when I think of Hellraiser, I think of prolonged torture
And chains.
combined with eroticism.
Yeah.
And it's that uncomfortable line between sex and violence. But this is just, here's some titties and then here's some violence.
Yeah.
And neither of those things
never
is
the two
very
shall meet.
drawn out or satisfying. Or, yeah, those two things never overlap either.
Yeah. Except for the spooky blowjob. That wasn't even violent. If she had if the face had chomped,
Yeah.
that would have been something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Derek's dead, question mark.
Oh, hot nun alert.
Hot nun.
Hot nun. Yeah, Jake sees a ghost nun.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
It's Ursula in Vanessa form.
Yeah.
And he sees her and follows her up into the attic. She's naked as hell.
Yeah,
She's
very
fully
naked.
And then he has to take off both his shirts. The short sleeve one, the long sleeve one, and the short sleeve one that's over it.
We gotta bring it back.
Yeah.
Gotta bring it back. I'm surprised it hasn't come back yet.
So this was filmed 2002. And like, not only that, all the guys in this movie have the same hair. It's
The
that hair
floppy,
that I could never have, but Mike, our buddy Mike,
Yeah.
fucking rocks it. It's such cool guy hair.
Yep.
I'm so angry that I could never have. My hair just didn't do that.
I think your hair is too straight to
It's
do that.
way too straight. Yeah. And my
Got a little
hairline's
bit
too
of wave
high. It's
to
just-
it to
yeah.
do the cute, like, floppy 2000s guy hair.
I was fucked during that time. I did the
you could
worst.
do the frosted tips.
I think I tried highlights once. I never went full frosted, but I always spiked up with gel was my default.
Yeah.
And then I did some horrible parts.
Did you ever do the where your hair's all kind of pushed forward and then it goes into like a wave in the front?
Freshman year of college, I did that with real short hair.
Yeah.
Which was like already too late because that was 2007. So I
Sure.
feel like that was too late, but it was me trying something different. Because in high school, I was trying to do this John Linnell thing from They Might Be Giants, who is not who he's not who you should emulate for fashion. No offense, Mr. Linnell. Love your work. But I would part the one half of my hair to the side and the other would come down.
Oh, okay.
It was horrendous. It was so bad. It was so bad. God, I had horrible hairstyles.
I would like to see pictures of that.
I'll show you that. That came after the very long hair.
I've seen
that
the
I
long
had.
hair, yeah.
That was like past shoulder length.
Yeah, so this nun sex scene happens for a while. And here's the thing to think about. Remember how we told you that everything that happens past a certain point is just they're hallucinating it while they're buried in a coffin and Lance Henriksen's just talking to them on a Nokia cell phone?
Oh, is he role-playing this nun?
I'm saying that at the very least, two of them are just down there jerking off.
Yeah, because he literally says when he reveals this to Chelsea at the end, he mentions that they had orgasms down there.
Yep.
So they were just like Jake and Henry Cavill were just jerking it down there.
Yeah, and Lance is like, all right, I'm going to do stuff with the other while you're doing that, I'm
Because
gonna.
because it's revealed in the end that Allison clawed her neck to pieces because she thought that she was in that saw trap. So she bled out. Derek just died of asthma, like down there. He just died. And then they're like, and Henry Cavill, he just died of good old fashioned fear.
Yeah, right. He came himself to death.
Yeah, scary movie.
He just blew out too much cum and died.
What? No, last night you said he gooned himself.
That's right. Yeah, he gooned too hard. He gooned too hard and
My
too
wife,
long,
ladies and gentlemen.
and died. His hands even on his crotch when they
It
open
is,
the coffin.
like fans across his dead body and his like soiled crotch with his hands over it. It's just like down there under. I mean, if you're gonna go, I guess.
Sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because he's not dead yet in this.
Henry Cavill?
No. The chick who gave him a blowy is like, you owe me one. And so she leads him to...
Yeah, she shows her titties and leads
Oh, yeah.
him with her titties into the
jar
dead baby
room.
jar room and locks him in there.
And then, and then he finds Derek's body and then turns around and there's a hook that he had been playing with and it starts swinging at him. And guys, I shit you not, there's a head-on shot of him looking at this hook coming at him. And this man says, not good. Not good.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
It's not. Anyway, so he gets hooked. All
Oh
right.
yeah, by the bound, because we see that Cenobite
Yes.
walk into the room. It looks dumb, and he gets hooked and killed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so Chelsea's still locked in this fucking attic.
She tries calling the cops.
Yeah.
And we get a cop who's named Officer Riley.
Yep.
I don't know if he's related to Dewey. Are all the Rileys genetically cops?
They might be.
Who knows?
He's not as good a cop. Dewey was a good cop.
Yeah, no, Dewey would know something is wrong here.
Yeah,
And he
wouldn't have given up.
find these kids.
Because they go to this mansion and Lance Henriksen greets them outside. And Lance Henriksen's
He's
like...
got one earring.
Yeah.
He's Lance Henriksen. It's creepy.
It's like a giant stone mansion bumping with music.
Filled with barely legal teens.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, we got a call from some chick. She sounded like she was on drugs.
She sounded a little crazy, if you know what
but
I
like,
mean.
can we check inside? And Lance Henriksen's like, no, I'd rather you not scare my guests. And they're like, yeah, I guess. Here, let me give her a call. And like, they talk to her on the phone and she's in the window above. And she's like, I'm looking at you right now. And they like look up and she's not there. Because turns out she's actually down under.
Right, which I do think that's kind of cool.
That part is
where
okay.
it's when you think about this in retrospect, it's like, oh, okay, she is actually on the phone with the cops, but they can't see her because she's calling from inside a coffin, but she
Yeah.
just thinks she's in the house.
And I guess that's why the dispatch is like, I don't know, because they called dispatch and they're like, she called from your phone.
Yeah, that I don't get.
And then he's just like, these fucking kids and their gadgets, pranking. It's like, dude, if she can replicate a cop's call, you should be more concerned about that.
That's not
That's a problem. That's a security breach.
And then I think the cop asks Lance, like, so what is all this anyway? And Lance just goes, I love to party.
Yeah. It's like, okay, bust down those
you're
doors, guy.
under arrest now.
Yeah. You've got to get in there. Also, it's Lance Henriksen. Did you see Scream 3? Lance
Yeah.
Henriksen in a mansion having a party?
With a bunch of almost underage women.
You can't trust that. But also, when the cop leaves, I think he's putting something in his pocket. He
I
might
think
have
it's
gotten
a
some
donut.
drugs. No, I think he got something. I think he got drugs from Lance Henriksen.
Oh, okay.
Why would he put a donut in his breast pocket?
Save it for later.
Okay.
What was the pocket there for?
Drugs, apparently. The car, she gets out of the attic now. The door just opens for her.
Yeah. So she runs out of the house,
Gets
tries to get in a car. Of course, it doesn't start. And of course, Lance Henriksen is in the back seat, I think. And he goes, it's like a bad horror movie, isn't it? No, bad script. I'm going to squirt the little water gun at it. No, bad.
You can't just do
You can't
it.
just do that.
You can't do it.
You can't just write a stupid thing and be like, oh, it's like a dumb horror movie. No.
She's running through the woods. She runs into a cop who's like, you're the one who was calling. I knew something was wrong with this house. I'm going to get... And then he gets killed by Lance Henriksen. But I guess that wasn't real.
Yeah, I guess not.
And then you see Lance impersonating Allison on the phone?
No,
or...
he's impersonating Jake, and he calls
Jake
Chelsea.
on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's getting calls. This is when she goes back. So because she thinks Jake is calling her for help, she goes back to the house, and that's when she's running into like zombie Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
he's like,
great
party, huh?
You
Fuck
can't
off.
again. No, that you can't reference a movie that's that much better than this one.
And-
you can't do that.
And then like dead Allison's there being like, motherfucking Hellworld, game over, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Just
line.
creating sounds for me to use on Twitch.
Yeah. Editor, throw in game over Chelsea in there, please.
Yeah.
Then she's talking on the phone to Henriksen. She's like, so you are Pinhead, right?
Yeah, hello, Lance, or should I, or not, she doesn't call him Lance. Hello, Lance. Or should I say Pinhead?
It's the blurriest shot ever. They did not get focus on
Yeah,
the shot.
I think this is not intentional. Meanwhile, Jake gets approached by Chatterer and he freaks out, turns around, stabs. Oh, nope, it's not Chatterer. It's Chelsea. Stabs her in the neck.
Yep. She falls
Yep.
and dies. But not really. Nothing was there. It wasn't Chatterer. It wasn't Chelsea. She calls him and she's like, hey, where are you?
Yeah. I wrote, this is when it's all getting very confusing and we're all like, something happens, but no, it doesn't. But then someone sees something, but no, they don't. It's actually this. And I just wrote, maybe this is hell. And we went here because Adam played too much video games and so did we. I just don't know what else to, like, I'm like, are they all dead? I don't know.
Yeah. God doesn't like you playing too much video games.
It's when this is now when it's revealed that they all ingested something from
Later he
whiskey
says
or
it's
whatever.
sodium amytal, which isn't that like a truth thing?
I thought that was truth serum.
I thought that was truth serum, but he says it'll make you trip balls.
And so I guess it does.
They throw Lance over a banister and he falls in that like classic way where you bend your leg
He
behind
lands like
you.
Peter Griffin on the floor.
I did a horror movie back in 2015, a small part.
That's
and
how you make your leg look broken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had to like fall down the stairs, and I remember doing exactly that with my leg. It
And
wasn't a
then-
horror movie. It was a horror short. You can't find it. Don't bother trying. It basically doesn't exist.
Yeah. He falls. We didn't say how he falls. It's because Chelsea roundhouse kicks him in the face.
She does do karate.
And it's great because the way that this house is
like a full roundhouse, like spinning around and everything.
like, yes. And this house it has like a stairwell that goes up the whole center. So like if you're on the top floor, you can look down to the very bottom. And so that's where he falls. And it's pretty good. I enjoy it.
And so they run past him and they go outside, but then he's outside and he says, boo. And then he finds them in the woods and leans up against a tree. And Chelsea pointed out that the shadows made him look like he had a baby hand.
Yeah, if you're not watching this, I apologize, but there's a shot where when Lance is leaning against the tree, the way the lighting is landing on his hand, the top halves of his fingers are in total darkness, and so it makes his fingers look really short,
looks
but
like a
his
little baby
thumb
hand.
is still normal size.
And we
And I don't
thought
know,
that was fun.
we were looking for anything at this point, and that just for some reason really got to me. I'm all about baby.
We rewound it to see
We
it.
did rewind. It was like, James, you got. Hey,
She
you
said
got.
it'd be worth it.
You gotta see this shit.
Was it? I don't know.
I don't know if it was worth it.
This is the catfishing reveal.
Oh, yes.
I'm the dad.
And after he's like, I'm the daddy, I can't fish you. Then Jake gets. I can't even
He
describe.
charges at him, phases through Lance Henriksen's body, and then winds up at the inside a casket.
Yeah.
Because that's the reveal of like, also, you've been buried alive this whole time.
Right.
And the way it's shot is insane because it's like through the little air pipe. It's like a PVC pipe that he has going from the casket to above ground that they're breathing through.
And there are shots throughout the movie of them.
It's like Jake looks outside the window and he sees Lance Henriksen
He
digging
sees him
graves.
digging, and there's also, I think, some shots where you can see them through like a hole, but you don't know what it is.
Oh,
And
that's kind of cool, I guess.
yeah, sure.
It's weird though, because then Lance Henriksen, he throws Chelsea into one of the graves and starts burying her, but that's a hallucination because she's already actually in the casket buried alive and has been, and it keeps cutting between her in reality in this casket and the shots of her having dirt shoveled onto her. And it's like once you reveal it, you can't keep going back to the hallucination, especially when the action in the hallucination is him burying you.
Yeah, it's very confusing. And so this made us realize, wait, so he did actually stab her with a pin.
Yeah.
Because that's what had the drugs on it.
Yeah, that's how he drugged her.
So-
And so
She should either have a pin sticking out of her arm in that scene or a giant, like a hole in her arm that's bleeding. And her friend should be like, oh, no. It's just, you know,
And-
you can't think about Hellraiser Hellworld too long or it does start to fall apart a little bit.
I did see people wondering if the whole party was a fake thing. No, because
No.
he says that he had to dig these graves and bury them and then get back to the party. And it shows him like...
And he basically like Bilbo Baggins is like, and why not? Why shouldn't I party with all these
He does say
underage
that.
kids?
Yeah.
Why shouldn't I have a little treat and indulge myself?
Yeah.
And drink shitty whiskey with a bunch of college kids.
Like college freshmen, too,
It's
man.
sad. This is the saddest dad.
Yeah. Then she gets...
It's not even like he liked his kid. He was never even around.
Yeah.
Like, is it just a matter of principle kind of thing?
I think he just was looking for an excuse to throw a sex party and
That
kill
could
some
be
kids.
it. He's like, yes.
If you're the kind of guy who does this, you're going to do it no matter what. Dead son
But
or
at least
not.
this, he gets some sympathy points.
Mm-hmm.
Because his son died from playing too much video games.
Yeah.
And his friends died off from jerking off too hard in the ground.
She gets busted out of the casket by some cops who are like, yo, you've been missing for days.
Yes,
They've been down there for days.
It has to just be 2 days, because 3 days, unless he's giving them water, which I don't think he is. I don't think he's pouring water down the little tubes and waterboarding them as well. But it's 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food is the general kind of rule of thumb. That's why Gerald's game, it's so scary. And why in such a short amount of time that like shit really goes sideways. Because it's not that long before you start getting thirsty.
Her and Adam are alive. The other three, of course, are dead.
Apparently Adam's ghost called the police.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Adam. Yeah, her and Jake are alive. But yeah, the cops are like, we got a call. We don't know where it came from. And she looks up and she sees Adam's ghost in the house, and then he disappears.
And there's this shot of her looking in the window that is posed. She looks exactly like most of my friends' senior pictures from 2007
yeah, like a
or 2006.
photographer on ladder, looking down, just like...
Really like flattering, flat lighting.
Yeah. Okay, you would think the movie would be over.
It's not.
It's not. This is like fucking Return of the King.
Yeah.
There's so many times where you're like, credits? No, we gotta see what happened to Lance Henriksen.
Lance checks into the hotel from Basket Case. And he has a lament configuration, and like, you know,
Like a real one.
Might as well get butt fucked by Pinhead. Whatever.
It's his son's stuff.
Yeah.
It's Adam's stuff. So Adam had a real one, and so I think you're right. Adam probably died from real Cenobites.
I think via the game, he found a real lament configuration and died.
Yeah, so Pinhead and Chatterer and Bound show up, and Chatterer and Bound take like these big old, like pendulum hooks.
It's like
on
Edgar Allan
chains.
Poe
Yeah.
hitting the pendulum
And
shit.
they swing it, and
it's like a Soul Calibur weapon.
yeah,
Kinda,
for sure.
yeah.
And they go through Lance, and they like trisect him with this such CG. He's just full of computer graphic insides.
Yeah, Lance he like slides apart.
Yeah.
Kind of like a ghost ship where they get sliced with the wires, although not as good.
You know what movie did this practically? Final Destination 2, when the like barbed wire fence gets blown through a guy, and then they had puppets and they fucking pulled apart those pieces practically,
That's so
and it
cool.
rules.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You know what's not cool is Pinhead says, "How's that for a wake-up call?"
Yeah.
But the movie's not over.
No, you could have
We are
rolled.
screaming at the TV, begging for it to end at this point.
But no, it's Jake and Chelsea driving in a car talking about where they're going to go for vacation or something.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden...
Lance is in the back seat, jump scare.
Yeah, they like look in the rearview mirror and Lance Henriksen's there. And then he like reaches forward and grabs the steering wheel and drives them off the road. And they slam the brakes and then he's gone. And they look at each other like, what? And then it cuts back and forth. It doesn't just cut away. It cuts back and forth between them there being like, what? And the cops entering the hotel room where Lance Henriksen died and finding blood everywhere.
Yeah, but I don't Is the body not
The
there?
body's not there. And it just cuts back and
won't
forth for a
end.
while, and then it ends.
Not without a really weird song playing that I forget how it goes,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I'll
what
put
was
in a clip. The lyrics are, look who's laughing now, look who's standing tall. I can't remember how it goes, but it is.
It's just those lyrics over and over.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Hellraiser, Hellworld. I don't know, I feel like we're both speechless, honestly.
I'm so curious about the other Hellraisers.
I kind of am too. I kind of am too. Although I'm just disappointed this one wasn't more internet. I thought they were maybe going to get sucked into the internet. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. That's
I keep wanting that to happen in a horror movie.
like a Tron horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that'd be good.
Maybe.
No, it'd be good in like, the way that, like a bad way.
Yeah.
The Hellraiser movies include, Hell on Earth, which was 3, was 92, and Bloodline was 96. Inferno is the 5th one, that's 2000. Mm-hmm. Hellseeker is the 6th one, 02. And then Deader and Hellworld were filmed together and both came out 05. I have heard that Revelations, the 9th one from 2011, is perhaps the worst one. That's a new Pinhead. And then Hellraiser Judgment was 2018. I believe Heather's in that.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But I've also heard it's bad.
Okay. I mean.
And then they finally did the remake is the 11th movie. Is that right? 4, 5, 6. They dropped the numbers early on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, the remake from 2022 was the 11th Hellraiser. And it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's a remake? I couldn't
I guess
remember.
it's more it's its own thing. It's not a remake. Remake's wrong. You could say reboot maybe because it's like a new thing. It's definitely not a remake of the first movie.
No, because it's not
at all.
that story.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they're making a TV series too. That's right.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's been.
That's been talked about for a while.
Yeah.
April 2020 was when it was announced to be in development. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for sitting through this with us. I had a good time.
I did as well. And thanks for your patience with the weird schedule
Mm-hmm.
for the podcasts recently. We've been very busy with channel stuff.
Yes, the awards and Production Tales from Hell, which premieres after the awards.
And they talk.
And kill counts
Yeah.
and the podcast all stacked on each other, which is a lot. But in 2 weeks, I think all the work should be done, and we can just like relax a little bit as they come out and just like get back to a regular schedule, which will be nice. But that's what we're doing right now. Mm-hmm. It'll be worth it when it all comes out.
Yeah.
You can look forward to all of that. You can also support us on Patreon and get merch if you want at deadmeatstore.com.
Mm-hmm.
Always new stuff to offer. And
Yeah, there's cute like Valentine's Day stuff.
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's still not Valentine's Day yet. You can still get it.
Yeah. I like the little skeleton
hands, yeah.
necklace. It's magnetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can wear one half and someone else can wear the other half. It's very cute.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's
on social media, Dead Meat James, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram.
and I'm at Carebeck, CareBecc on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want merch, deadmeatstore.com. Muscle memory. Sorry, we already talked about the merch. Okay, great. I'm not sure what we'll do next, but it probably won't be another 2000s movie about the internet.
No.
Sorry to disappoint.
Friday's Lost Boys kill count though.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, check that out.
I helped edit part of it, kind of.
To the numbers, yeah.
Yeah.
You put a little spice on it.
I spiced it up, yeah. Cool. Until then, I am Chelsea.
I'm James. Gressel's
That's
been helping
Gressel.
us and sitting through this conversation.
Yes.
Really enjoyed it.
We asked if he wanted to watch this movie with us. He said, no, thank you.
What'd you watch instead? Modern Family?
No, we played Mario Party.
Oh, fun.
sounds
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Nice. All right.
But this has been the Dead Meat Podcast.